Good afternoon, Las Vegas. This is Clark on the Herd coming to you from America, what's left of it. Continuing on with a little bit of what Wake Up Call was just talking about, I've been wondering for months when the real issue of Clinton was going to come up, which I could never understand for a second when I first heard about it. When she was Secretary of State, there was all kind of money raised for the Clinton Crime Foundation, millions and millions and millions of dollars. Don't hold me to it, but I think there was like a 10 million contribution from Libya and maybe Syria, and I don't know, some of those Mideastern countries, Saudi Arabia maybe, I don't know, but what they were doing, I knew they were doing. I think it should be obvious to anybody but a complete idiot that they were using that foundation as a conduit to funnel money to Bill and Hillary Clinton while she was Secretary of State. It's a sneaky little way that politicians, operatives, use the law against the people of the country, and they use it for themselves. You see, if you did that in business, if you even have a business dealing with a Mideastern country that happened to be on a terror watch list or whatever, you're guilty of a serious violation in the United States, and you can be prosecuted and you can be sent to jail. And that's just if you happen to make money in the process of doing business with maybe selling Syria a product that you produce. Maybe you sell computers, maybe you sell clothes, maybe you sell, I don't know, camouflaged outfits. Whatever you're selling, you make a profit, and then it goes into your bank account, and then they find out, well, wait a minute, you're not supposed to even do business with Syria. Well, how about when you're the Secretary of the damn state and you do business with Syria and you get them some positive legislation thrown through Congress that benefits Syria, and lo and behold, guess what? There's a foundation, a $10 million donation that comes from the same goddamn people. Do you have to be even intelligent to figure this out? I don't think so. I knew this months and months and months ago when I first heard about it. And here you got all the little Congress dogs up there making a big deal about Hillary's lying, about Benghazi, and the emails and all this, which is despicable. She's untrustworthy is one of the main issues I'm trying to bring forth. But when you are selling influence, when you are a leader of the American party, the American government, and you're supposed to be working for one reason and one reason only, and that's for the benefit of America, and you rustle through some sort of trumped up legislation or whatever it is that benefits a foreign government that's really in ways an enemy of ours, and they get some kind of a thing rushed through Congress, and then lo and behold, the same timing occurs that a big foundation donation comes in. I mean, you've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding me. Now, finally, we're starting to get some traction here with the FBI investigation, that they have expanded their investigation. Okay, well, come to find out, it appears to be that now, thankfully, the FBI is looking into these, I don't know if you want to call the time frame, the coincidences of whatever. They're looking for when things happened. Let's see, A happened. Syria wanted to do this or whatever, and blah, blah, blah. And they donated $10 million to Hillary Clinton, and lo and behold, Syria gets something they want. And I may be using the wrong names, I may not be accurate in this, but whatever, there was millions and millions and millions of dollars, probably over $100 million given to the Clinton Crime Foundation from foreign governments. Now, irregardless of what foreign government gave the donation to the Clinton Crime Foundation, what the hell are they doing with this conflict of interest where obviously the impropriety is there to where they're giving a donation that's linked by name, if nothing else, Clinton Foundation, Clinton Secretary of State. Gee, there seems to be a connection there. Yeah, no kidding, folks. So what the hell is going on? We have become so dumb that the liberal progressive candidate that supposedly has viability and the respect of the American people. They don't even have the respect of anybody in the world, can just buy them. Like Donald Trump says, I buy these people. That's what he did when he was in business. He had to donate to both sides of the aisle so that he could do business in New York City and any place else he wanted to do something. You have to pay off the politicians. That's a well-known business 101 thing. You're taught probably in school. You have to make payments to the politicians or nothing moves. You get nothing done. You'll go broke waiting for something to happen. Everybody is subject to bribes. That's the only way you get anything done. This whole entire process of our government has been corrupted. Follow the money. Corruption has taken over. We've been around now for 250 years. Corruption has seated itself firmly into the grasp of the people that supposedly have power. They're all about the money. Look at Harry Reid as serving the public as a senator from Nevada. Oh, what a noble position. What a guy that's really protecting Nevada and everything, And he lives at the Ritz-Carlton or something in Washington, D.C. I don't know what he pays for that little penthouse or whatever the hell he has, but it probably sets him back $1 million or $2 million, I would guess. And then he's a multimillionaire. How did he get that on a senator's salary? I don't know if it's even $200,000 a year. I'm not sure what it is, but you have expenses. Senator's salary, when you talk to somebody that's located in one area of the country, maybe $200,000 in one area is not the same as another, but it goes a certain distance. But when you're a senator, you have other costs associated with your job, I guess. You have to go back and forth. You have to maintain two homes. I don't think they pick up your living quarters in any respect in either state. And you have expenses. So, maybe $200,000 is not that much. Maybe we underpay our senators and so forth, and that could be possible. But the point is, they're subject to special interest money and always have been and always will be until we take the special interest money out of the game. Then maybe we have to pay more to the senators and congressmen to attract good people for a position that truly is for the benefit of the people. If that's what we have to do, so be it. It's a hell of a lot better off doing that than we'll ever be allowing these supposedly elected representatives rip off the American people. What Hillary Clinton did was friggin' criminal. If there's any link at all to these Clinton Crime Foundation contributions that went to Bill Clinton, $750,000 for an hour speech. Come on, people, this is ridiculous. This is the government that we have come to expect from this out-of-control, outrageous, liberal, progressive party. Now, I'm not saying that the Republicans or the conservatives don't have a tendency to be bought by special interest groups. Of course they do. That's the system. That's what the problem is. We have to change that. But the liberals and the progressives go to a new level of corruption. They are the most corruptible organization ever. The Republicans' corruption, which is pervasive, pales in comparison to the Clinton Crime Foundation. I remember a senator from Texas, I think he was, and he did a book. I forget his name, but he was a majority leader or something, and he lost his job. He had to resign from the Senate because he was caught selling his book kind of like a campaign contribution way or whatever. Well, he had to resign because he was selling a book. Well, Hillary Clinton's been selling herself for years and years and years, and now she wants to keep the money rolling in so she can sell Bill on the side. Maybe instead of renting out the Clinton bedroom, Bill will now go along with it as a special feature. How much is the Bill doll in my Lincoln bedroom? Can I get the Bill doll? How much is that feature? They're going to be for sale. The Clintons are for sale. What do you think about that, Mr. Rolando, who just joined the show? Thank you for coming, sir.
My pleasure.
Welcome to the herd. Would you like to be heard?
Yes.
Okay, well.
I was thinking then there was somebody, I think it was Bill Clinton. He was charging people for spending the night in the White House.
Yes, the Lincoln bedroom was for sale. When Bill was there and Hillary, they were selling the Lincoln bedroom. And their biggest campaign contributions, and the other people that were the people that raised money for them, what do they call them? The money raisers or whatever, fundraisers.
Campaign
There was
yeah.
one guy, a Chinaman named, began with an H. Huang or something
Yeah.
like that. He was a famous big $1 million money raiser. He got to rent the bedroom, I guess, when he would come to Washington, D.C.
What was the night cost? 5,000?
Well, I don't know, because it depends on the features that you ask with it, like maybe when Clinton was in charge, of Bill of the White House, maybe they had a Hillary doll that could be included in the price. Maybe Bill would make an arrangement with a Monica attachment that you could rent along with the Lincoln bedroom. Maybe for an hour, Monica would come visit you. I don't know. I don't put anything past these people, because everything in their life is for sale. And you think Hillary Clinton won't be buyable when she's president of the United States? She'll set new records.
I hate to admit it, but you're right, man. You're right.
How can we even consider some candidate with those kind of corrupted credentials? It blows my mind. Why is she even running? And Trump has made comments like, how does she even run with the email? Now she's been found out. We have emails where she instructed her staff on emails that were marked top secret, I guess. Oh, well, just take off that language just remove that print on the top of that, and then just send it over as a blank, as just a regular email without the top secret stuff on it, so that'll work. Now, this text and everything's the same. The top secret part of the document that was the reason for marking it top secret was still there. It was just a top secret designation wasn't there. So that's okay in a Hillary Clinton world, that she can, transfer that via email, that the Chinese or anyone else can intercept, the Russians. That's okay. That's the kind of president we want here in this country. Are you kidding me?
Clark, what really amazed me is that still there are people that believe that she is candidate quality.
Yeah, they're called low information people. They're dumbasses who have been brainwashed their younger years up till now. They don't know what 2 and 2 is anymore. They have no idea. They have to be told by a liberal what it is. Otherwise, they don't know. These are the people, some of them are interviewed, like particularly on the streets of New York, where someone sticks a microphone in their face, and how are you doing today? And well, who do you think? Oh, here's a picture of somebody. Do you know who this is? And
that's water. That's water.
Whatever. That's just one of them. Jeannie Pirro does it. A lot of them do it now. And the people that they're asking, this is in New York, which is a liberal mecca. It's a very, very blue town, for Democrats. And they don't know anything about history because they've never been taught history. History is not something the liberal progressives want you to know, because all the policies and so forth that they're pushing have all failed miserably throughout history, over and over and over again. It never works. And this is not secret. This is not rocket science. They don't work. When you have people working, if you don't, they want the disparity in wealth. They want to take all the money from the wealthy people, who are the productive people in our society. They hire people, they create jobs. They want to take the money from them, like Bernie Sanders, tax them 92%, and then he can give the money to the low information people that he can play Santa Claus with and buy their vote. That's the whole scheme here. So now they're going to transfer the wealth from the wealthy, productive people to the poor people. So our whole country will be based upon the fact, has anyone out there ever worked for a poor man? I know I haven't. So if your choices are work for a rich man and get a paycheck, or your other possibilities, work for the government. If you can get a government job, but usually you have to have a relative that's in government to be able to get a government job. Maybe your dad hands it down to you, something like that. That's the way the liberals play. Once a liberal, always a liberal. So they will their jobs, if you will, if they're government.
you can also go into welfare.
Well, that's the other
Food-
thing that I was going to
food
mention.
stamp.
If you don't have a job for the government or for a wealthy person, you have to go on welfare.
Yeah.
And those are your only three solutions. Work for a wealthy guy. Bernie Sanders wants to get rid of them, so that plan's off the table. Now the whole country's left with welfare or work for the government, if you can get a government job. But what that is, that's all voters for the Democrat. So when everybody's going to be working for the government, who funds the government?
Well, I was under the impression that we are.
We are, but if the wealthy people go away and no one can get a legitimate job outside of government, who funds the government? Those people are not going to have a paycheck to be taxed. They're gonzo.
Yeah.
They're on welfare is where they are. So how much tax do people pay on welfare? How much do they pay for their food stamps? Nothing.
No, nothing.
So they don't pay anything. So
Nothing.
where's the money going to come
And
from?
you know, you got a guy like Sanders. They want to give a school for free, college for free. You know,
Free medical care,
medical care for free. Where are they going to be printing?
an increase in the wage, a living wage for everybody.
Are they going to be printing the money or?
Wait,
or-
the debates aren't over yet. They're going to have another debate, the Democrats will, on the Home Shopping Club network in a few days, I think. He'll probably be eventually giving away free houses, like Obama was promising that lady. Maybe she was in Detroit, a free house, you know, a free Obama phones. He hasn't got to that level yet, but he's promised the college, the health care, you know, all the welfare things, free. And he did lower his tax rate. His original debate mentioned 92%. Well, I guess he had some advisor, an economist, tell him, gee, maybe you better make that 80-something. So the next debate, he had lowered that to like 86%. So, that'll work. That's much better. You know, none of it's going to work. Because like Thatcher used to say, socialism's great until you run out of other people's money. Well, the liberal progressive movement is to run out of other people's money that funds everything.
Exactly. That's what it is. When they run out of the people's money, then the socialist is not good anymore.
It won't work anymore. It might be a great utopian lifestyle.
Yeah.
Oh, no work, just live off the fat of the land. Great. The Pilgrims tried that under Miles Standish. When those boats landed at the Rock, their idea was this utopian new world without the tyranny of the kings taking all their money and everything, where they would just split up the land, everybody would till their own work and this and that, and donate all the food to the town square, and then they dish out all the food to all the people living in the utopia. Well, half the people just lived on their couch, and half the people worked. So pretty soon the people doing all the work got tired of supporting Joe over here. What the hell's Joe doing? You know, well, that collapsed. That wasn't going to work. So they had to create something that was the basis for capitalism, where everybody got their own piece of land, and now they had to do whatever they wanted to do with their land. So people would grow their own food, and they became so productive that they had leftover food. Everybody did. What do they do with it? So they bartered it to the Indians, maybe, or to whoever else came over. New people on new boats could buy the land. They opened up grocery stores. They became entrepreneurs, and they bargained, and they created capitalism. And that worked. Now people had incentives to do something, to get off their ass, and actually work for a living. What a concept. And that created America. That's why we were one of the productive, most economically viable countries there ever has been.
Yeah.
Because people had incentives. Now along comes the socialist Marxist Obama and company with all his czars and so forth. And what an interesting name he picked, czars. You know where I know the name czars from? Is the Soviet Union. And Lenin and Stalin.
I used to have a dog named Tsar.
Was he from Russia?
He was a German Shepherd.
Oh, so he was probably on the other side of the wall of
Yeah.
Germany before they knocked down the wall. Why would you be an American president and even have a person in a position like those people? But why would you call them czars? He has no concept.
But why would you be an American citizen and allow your president to behave that way? That's the question.
Well, why would you re-elect him, I guess is the big question. That's the one that blew my mind. Even Obama himself said in his first term that if we have unemployment continues this high and this and that, the chances are I'll probably be a one-term president. That's what he said himself. And that's true. Normal situation, you would be a one-term president because you're failing. Well, he failed miserably, and he gets reelected. Boy, figure that one
That's
out.
the reason why I will not be surprised then the people will elect Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders. And I tell you, I keep saying this so people can put it in my face if I fail not to do it. If any one of those people get elected president, I will give up. I close and I will go home and stay locked up in my house.
Well, I think that I pat myself on the back enough. I'm always right, it seems. But when I heard that Obama was going to run for president, I said, that guy's an empty suit. He's never going to make it. Well, when I found out he made it, I said, well, look, Jesus Christ, this is going to be a huge, gigantic failure because this will never work.
Well,
and I was right. I was right about him being an empty suit. I was right about the failure. And now I can never see Hillary Clinton as president of this country. Ever, ever, ever. In my wildest nightmare, I can't see that. I can't even believe that a Bernie Sanders would even be a candidate if it wasn't for the despicability of one Hillary Clinton. Who you start comparing people with, they're both like in the bottom of the barrel. How do you compare one rotten apple with another one? It's impossible. No. Now Joe Biden, I understand, is running around supporting Bernie Sanders in a way by
really?
saying Bernie Sanders' transfer of wealth, principles are great for this country because we need to take the 1% as not paying their fair share. They pay what, 80% of the money or 40% of the money, and the top 2% pay 60%?
Wow.
I mean, it's outrageous what these people are paying for their fair share is crazy. And you have a Biden running around saying we're not paying enough. Well, let me tell you something. If the wealthy people, if the wealthy 1%, say the wealthy 2%, say the wealthy 10%, the wealthiest 10% of this country gave all their money, every asset, every home, everything they owned in life, they just gave it all to the federal government, it wouldn't fund this government for 1 week.
I was listening to a radio show. I don't know if it was early in the morning or during the morning before the outnumber. I can't remember what time or what show was it. And one of the guests in the show said that he can picture Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump running in the general election. I forgot why they was talking about that, but they said that Bernie Sanders don't have a chance to be in the general election, and I don't know. I think the people of United States need to start studying the socialist regime, and they have to remember that they are not going to be better off. They're going to have, most people in this country don't like to be paid with a debit card. So, well, yeah, I guess a few people like that, that's why I was told that that's the way the welfare works now.
Yeah, they have their plastic cards just
And
like a debit
go
card.
to the store and
They just scan it like a credit card, and I guess the people behind the counter, they may know because some number comes up on their screen. I don't know if they know it's a food stamp card or whatever. They may or they may not, and whether they care or not, who knows? But
But
Maybe they have their own card in their pocket.
I believe that the people in this country are better people than be accustomed to that and live with that. You don't get paid cash. You don't get paid with a check. You know, when you are in a socialist, or I don't believe that socialist is the word. Communist is the word, you know, because it's a one very, very thin line between socialist and communist.
I think they're virtually the same.
Virtually the same.
You know.
And you cannot have, I don't know, it's hard for me to believe, but unfortunately the American people have the tendency to believe those people who are in office. They need to learn how to question those people before they elected them. Because once they get elected, you will never be able to talk to those people anymore. You will never be able to get an answer from those people anymore. And that's the problem that we have. You know, those people get elected and they don't know you until election time is on the door.
And then I think that the incumbents, if I'm not mistaken, get reelected in an inordinate amount of percentage. I mean, it's extremely high. Is it 90% of the people get reelected? Something like that. It's crazy. When do we turn over these dinosaurs that are in office like a Harry Reid?
Oh, some people, like, for example, Ricky Barlow, the city council, I think it's Ward 5, if I'm not mistaken. That guy has never been able to sign a check in the front. He always signed the check in the back.
He probably doesn't even sign expense checks in the front because he gets everything for free. So he doesn't even have a personal checking account probably. He doesn't need it. What does he pay for?
And he probably don't even have it because they deposit the check in his bank account.
Exactly.
And but he's able to drive a Mercedes,
Well,
with
sure.
a plate El Politico.
Oh, right.
Politico or something like
Right.
that. He's always been a burden of the state.
That's
Always.
a good word, burden.
And he walk around like he's God gift to the world.
Yeah.
But most of those people are arrogant.
You see, that's misguided because they're servants of the people, and they don't understand that. None of them do. They're the elite now. We have the elite government, the ones that the father hands down his job to the son, all government job, government this, government, all the little kiddies get in line for their government jobs. That's the royal family of the United States, are the government workers, and they're going to ruin the United States.
Yeah.
It's just like the King of France that ended up with him and his wife and everybody else in the royal family getting their heads cut off because their heads get too big.
Yeah.
You have to cut them off to make room for everybody else.
And the sad part, the funny part, I don't know what to call them, is that you go out there, you vote for these people, and then you will not be able to talk to that person anymore. Never you can talk. They're too busy to talk to you. Well, why are you so busy? You weren't busy when you was running. You weren't busy when you was
doing the people's work, the people's business. I'm just swamped over here. I can't be bothered with my constituents because I'm working for them. I'm busy day in and day out.
You go there, you find a liaison, and they lie like crazy, the liaison. And the secretary and the community developer, and they find those titles. I don't know who picked those titles, but they got titles to their nose.
And they're all kind of misnamed because they're not really what they do.
No, of course not.
Like liaison is a good title, but it stands for lying son, I guess. but they call it a liaison.
Lion son of a bitch.
Yeah, right, exactly. Like Donald Trump's point was the other day. This convention or this debate that these liberal progressives have, they try to call it the Democratic debate. And Donald Trump the other night pointed out, it's not a Democratic debate, it's the Democrat debate. They try to fake everyone out saying, oh, it's a Democratic debate.
Well, and that's the problem. And that's the
know?
problem with many Spanish-speaking people or people from another country. They confuse Democrat with democracy.
Yep.
And that's why a lot of the people that come here from another country, they register Democrat.
Yeah, they think it's democracy.
They assume it's democracy.
They're coming from a dictatorship or Chavez or some organization like that, and they think Democratic's good. What's Republican? What the hell's that? I don't know what a Republic is, you know? But you're right. You're absolutely right. The words don't mean what they mean in Washington, D.C. They mean the opposite of what they're supposed to mean. And that's part of the biggest problem. It's just disingenuous lying, distortions. That's what's done in this country. Everything's distorted. And that's part of the problem. The media presents that to everybody, all these distortions. Like, I get so mad when I'm watching something and there's a commentator on there. The other night I was watching a show, and this guy on Fox, supposedly a fair and balanced show, the guy right off the bat says, well, Trump was wrong about that. They were talking about the issue with Cruz being a Canadian-born whatever, or a United citizen qualified to be president. Well, Trump was wrong about that, he starts off the conversation with. Well, where was Trump wrong? Well, he goes to his next point, but Trump was right about that the situation's never been litigated by the Supreme Court of the United States. What does natural mean? Well, that's what Trump said. So I back up and I go, where was he wrong? Because Trump said, when asked about Cruz's qualifications to be president, Trump's response was, I don't know. He wasn't wrong, he doesn't know. But it was misrepresented by this commentator that all the listeners heard, Trump was wrong. That's what they take away. And he wasn't wrong, he was right on the money.
You know, if I was going to be a politician, I will make a firm purpose of not listening to the media, because those people are the most incredible, cynical individuals, and they love, and this intelligent human being running for office go into the fall into that stupidity of listening to the media, and they go attacking each other. They enjoy creating all this argument and all this drama, you know. And I tell you, I think it was Chris Christie, and the governor of New Jersey, in one of the debates, he said, you know, we are here trying to fix the country, and we talking about attacking each other. Why? You know, I forgot what was the issue that they said.
Well, they were bringing up fantasy football, asking Jeb
That's
Bush
what it
about
was.
fantasy football. All these things, we have people cutting off heads, we have the Mideast on fire, and we're talking about fantasy football? Are you, without saying the word, shitting me? But that's what he meant. You got to be kidding me. Yeah. And it was ridiculous. But I have an idea. It's hard to not listen to anybody like the media. So my philosophy is listen to them, but when the mainstream media is telling you something, believe the opposite. And then you'll be right. Then you'll know what the truth is. So listen to them, because you're going to get inundated with talk. Just listen to them and then analyze what they said and say, that's not true. And then you'll be on the road to recovery, if you will.
You know, let me tell you, a few years back, Dario Herrera was running against Jim, I forgot his name now. He's the guy that the congressman, then he was cheating on his wife with his best friend's wife.
Oh, that was Ensign.
John Ensign. John Ensign. You know, and I told Dario, I said, don't get into any kind of mud wrestling with this guy. Tell people what are you going to do for them. Tell people what is your intention when you become. First of all, I believe that he was crazy to run for Congress. He was not ready. Dario Herrera was in the same position than Michelle Fiore was when she ran against Shirley Berkeley. You know, just because you are popular, just because you're well-liked individual, doesn't mean that everybody knows you. You know, and they made that mistake. They are so infatuated with themselves. Dario Herrera was not ready yet for Washington, D.C. You know, I don't care how intelligent, how well prepared, how educated, how good guy he is, he was not prepared for the Washington, D.C. scene. He was pushed to that position. I don't have any proof, but that's my opinion, and I think as long as I live in the United States, I'm entitled to my opinion, you know, and I think he was pushed to do that by Harry Reid, so Harry Reid can place his son in the place of Dario Herrera in the county commissioner. That's what it was. You know, Harry Reid don't do nothing, don't do anything, then it's not benefit for him or his family.
Everything is politics.
And you have to give him credit for that. He's all for his family and his friends. All his friends, all his families.
Well, then go out and build a business that's good for your family and your friends.
Right.
Don't do it at the public dole. Don't rip off your public by lying to them to get elected, and then take advantage of the situation. That's all Harry Reid's ever done. Yeah. That's all most of the politicians ever do. They're out for themselves. And the whole system is going to crash and burn one day if we don't stop it. If we don't get a guy like Donald Trump that doesn't need any of this, if we don't get a guy like that to clean up the cesspool, it's not going to be cleaned up. And we're going to suffer for it. And we're going to suffer around the world. We have no respect anymore.
No
and you got
respect.
people out there like Putin's that I don't know why he still retains the power he does, I guess with an iron fist, because the price of oil is down like 60% this year. Putin. Oh. And his economy's got to be in the trapper. How does the people still support him? It's money. I mean, they're got to be going broke over there.
Well, because I believe that is a country that doesn't know how to work in a democracy.
They don't. But how does it work? It's not working. It
because
can't be working.
It was working before when there was communists and there was.
It collapsed.
There was when there was communists.
Yeah, the Soviet Union collapsed.
I don't think they collapsed. I think they tried to be a democracy, and they don't know.
Well, under Gorbachev or whatever, there was talk about, you know.
They don't know how.
And there's some of the fractions split off into Ukraine, and there were some individual states that cropped up. That was maybe their attempt at what you're talking about. But now Putin gets back in power, the KGB guy, and now he starts taking over these states, if you will, whatever they're called, and starts grabbing them back into the what used to be the Soviet Union. And it's all money.
I hear that the crime is awful in there.
Well, the economy's got to be collapsing because they get their money from oil. It's down 60%
Wow.
They're desperate. The oil business in this country is suffering like crazy. You can't produce some of the oil wells that have been fracked in this country for less than absolute bottom dollar, $60 a barrel. You won't make any money. You lose money. So what you do, you shut the wells in and you wait for a sunnier day. You can't do anything, but you're not going to open up a motel if you lose money every day. You got to wait for the price of rooms to go up. And then you can open up the motel and you can rent your rooms again. Same thing with the price of oil.
Because you can reduce the personnel, they're going to
About to nothing. And you still don't make it because you don't have enough money to pay your taxes. I mean, you only can go so low. The oil business, I know it well. After under $60 a barrel, you don't make money in a fracking well. Now, under $30 a barrel, you start scraping, just trying to get by on an old producing well. May produce a barrel a day. That's $30 a day. You have someone that has to go by and check, make sure everything's running. You got to pay electricity. You have to pay the person that owns the land where your oil is lease money. So you got to pay them a minimum, probably a 12.5%. So you start cutting up the pie. $30 oil, you're lucky to net $10. Now, if that price goes down to $20 a barrel, you're losing money. So every barrel of oil you produce, you lose money. So what you do, you shut the well in. You shut off the valve. You stop the electricity to the pump. And you have to wait for the price of oil to come back. Hopefully, when it does come back and you turn on your pump, there's still oil there. Sometimes when you don't produce so well, the damn thing goes away. You have downhole problems. Now you got to clean up the well. You got to send in a rig. You have expenses just to get the thing back to pumping. So Saudi Arabia or somebody is behind this oil thing to knock out the sustainability of the United States oil business, threaten Saudi Arabia and the Mideast countries. But they can produce oil over there. They don't even need pump jacks in most of the wells. They just turn on the well and it flows oil. That's very cheap oil to produce.
Wow.
There's no expense. You don't even have to pay for electricity. Just turn the valve. Here comes the oil. That's what Brunei, the king of Brunei, apparently still to this day, I know it was 20 years ago, the big tankers come into the dock. They hook up to the lines going to the oil wells, and they turn a valve. They fill up the tanker, shut off the valves, the tanker goes away, and the next one pulls up. There's no pump jacks. It just flows out of the ground.
Wow.
That's the way to produce oil. Drill the well and you're done.
Yeah, that's the way to do it, but not too many people can do it that way.
Now, over
Not too
here
many
we have formations that we have to frack, which is expensive. And then up in Canada, you have this heavy oil. We have some of it right here in Nevada that's like tar. And to get it out of the ground, you have to put usually a hot diesel oil is what we do to produce those wells. And it kind of melts the oil that's down there to where you can get it to somewhat be pumped. And then you can pump it in. But that's very expensive oil to produce too, because of what you have to do to get it out. It's like pumping asphalt. But that just increases your expense. When it's $150 a barrel, you can make oil pumping any goddamn well. I don't care what you have to go through. $150 is crazy.
Yeah, that's part of the...
I love, who were we talking to the other day? The person was giving Obama credit for the low price of gas. Well, he lowered the price of gas. I asked someone, what did Obama do?
Oh, yeah, who was that?
He lowered the price of gas. What the hell did Obama have to do with that? He's the one that's stopping the pipeline, stopping jobs, stopping all this stuff, but somehow he lowered the price of gas by stopping a pipeline that transports oil? How does that lower the price of gas? But this is the brainwashing that these people are subject to. Lies. They don't know economics. They don't know anything about creating anything. Nothing. Zero. And that's basically what we have running the country. We have a Nancy Pelosi. You know what creation is in Nancy Pelosi's world? Is unemployment's great, because for every dollar the government spends in unemployment, we get $1.79 back. So why don't we just all go on welfare? We'd have a 79% increase in the productivity on our GNP, and what a great economy this would be with a Nancy Pelosi's world.
The only good thing about this whole thing is the social media, the computers, the internet is making the people more intelligent.
I think it's making the
people-
younger ones,
Yes.
the ones in their
The-
teens.
You talk to any of these young men or women, and believe me, they are completely. The government are not going to be able to.
Exactly.
to
That's
bull-
our hope.
They're not going to be able to fool those kids anymore.
That's our hope.
You know, because
And I think it's a solid hope. I think it's for real.
yes, because the information is there. All you need to do is use it, assimilate it, disseminate it, and put them out there again.
One of the main reasons I think politicians throw mud and cut down the other people, that's the only thing they know how to do, is because the liberal progressive side of the story is always based on a lie.
Yeah.
So they don't have any policies or plans that they can promote from their own standpoint, because what they are promoting don't work, so it's a lie to start with. So the only platform they can run on is to cut you down. That's like when they get in a conversation, a debate
And
with
also-
somebody,
also
they'll
you-
start calling you racist or something because you know they've lost the argument. So now you're a racist.
Yeah. Also, you have to realize then those people, when they do that, they are creating a division. They are
That's conquer and divide, divide and conquer, rather.
That's why they do that, because they want to make sure then dividing it make them feel better, make them good better, look better, you know, and that's the whole thing, you know.
The other thing that eventually is going to help is the fact that every single thing done this day is videoed and recorded. And when these politicians go before the, let's say, the African Americans, and they do a speech of how great they are for them, and then they might go to some other organization the next day and say completely the opposite. Well, there's tape of that. There's that. So you look at these things that are available, and you compare what Harry running for Senate has said over here, and then he's talking to another group over here, and he says the opposite thing. Be aware of that. Notice it. Pay attention to it. This is not somebody to elect.
Why are you off the camera?
Because I didn't comb my hair today.
Oh, that's what
My barber was off today. He takes off Tuesdays.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And that's why you off camera?
Yeah.
What does the barber have to do with you?
Well, I
being
have
in the
another
camera?
guy that does a
He runs
radio
the
show
camera?
in here, and if he's not all dressed up, he doesn't go on the show, you know.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I forget who that is, but
Oh.
all right, I'll come in. There you go. Now you have it.
Yeah, no, well, I figured that people, you know, you remind me of that girl from Channel 8. Then she's a pretty girl. She dressed like $1 million, and all you can see is her hands. You know, she do the
She's a
traffic.
magician.
She do the traffic,
Oh.
but everybody else
I don't watch
go in the
Channel 8.
middle of the stage. No, I don't watch it anymore because I think they are a disruption to the system.
Yep.
They are completely they are establishment guided.
You want to just see a show that's a horror show, go to MSLSDS or whatever their alphabet soup is. I mean, geez, every now and then I flash by that thing and my channel remote gets stuck, and I watch like 2 seconds of that. I go, what in the hell? And I might listen to it for 10 seconds. That's about all I can take. It's just absolutely, that Rochelle Maddow or whatever her name is, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I go, what in the world is she talking about? What planet is she
What's
on?
her name?
Rochelle Maddow or
Oh,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
Jesus Christ. And then Debbie Wasserman
Rachel
I mean,
Ma-
she's not on a show.
Oh, she got a show
no,
there,
No,
too?
she's not on a show.
Oh.
She is on shows because they interview her. But
Yeah.
when she talks, oh my God. Oh, what a hack. Oh. Phew. I don't know how that, and that's the leader of the Democrat National Committee.
Yeah.
Nationwide, that's the best they can do. It's like Hillary Clinton as their number one candidate. They have to prop up a Bernie mannequin there, a Bernie Sanders mannequin.
And the other guy, what's his name?
I don't know. I think it's Mallory or something, some
Yeah.
governor from Maryland. If you don't live in Maryland, you don't know who he is. And
How these people can face their children, their wife? How can they go to home?
Well, Hillary can face Chelsea because Chelsea comes over for her crime family foundation check.
Yeah.
Every week on Friday, Chelsea shows up to get her check from Mommy and Bill.
Oh, they don't send it to her?
Oh,
they
no.
Have a driver,
well, they might. I don't know how it works, but
she was on TV today.
Chelsea?
Yeah, she was on Fox
News. Campaigning?
She's going to campaign for her mother.
Well, she's got to brush off, get Bill out of there because he didn't work out too well. His first campaign stop in New Hampshire kind of went down in flames.
He didn't do too good.
Boy.
Oh my God. That family should realize it's the same thing with the Bush family. Back up. Go enjoy your
maybe
millions.
Wait another generation or two if you want to run another Bush,
Go.
They've got some young kids coming up.
Enjoy your millions.
Yeah.
Don't push the name Bush or Clinton
Well, Clinton left the office in disgrace, in my opinion. Absolute disgrace. How does he run again? The name. How do you... I don't understand it. It's like Nixon. Would you want to run for president of the United States with the name Nixon?
But I tell you one thing. I believe that if Nixon would have run again, he would have won.
When?
Well, a few years after the Watergate. The problem with Nixon, I know we only got 1 minute, but the problem with Richard Nixon is he was honest. He said, I got the tapes. If I would have been him, I said, what tape? What are you talking about? I would not give those tapes out. Because all they got is like every law enforcement authority, every law enforcement group, they fish. They throw the rope and see what they can get. They mention the tape. And he was honest.
Well, compared with what Nixon did, if he did it, his operatives probably did it, maybe with his blessing. But anyways, what he did compared to what's being done now by the Clinton Crime Foundation and the Benghazi lying to the American people and the emails and all this stuff and baggage and, screwing interns. I don't remember Nixon doing that. He may have. I don't know. But all this baggage is nothing compared to what Nixon didn't do anything.
Nothing.
He tried to find out what his competitor was up to.
That's all.
Now they do it every single second of every day.
They do it not only for the competitor, they do it with a regular citizen.
They bugged Netanyahu's office over there. NSA bugged Netanyahu's office and gave it to Congress or gave it to the president.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. What did Nixon do? He was just ahead of his time. That's all. He was too early. He was the first president where the media got him. He was the first one. Prior to that, the president was off limits. Like Kennedy rushing chicks in through the tunnel underneath the White House, Marilyn Monroe and all his chicks in and out and all. You never heard about that. But the tunnel's there today. You can go visit it. You can see the girl tunnel, the bimbo tunnel.
That's what they call them?
Well, back then, I think they did. They called Clinton's thing, they had a bimbo eruption squad in the Clinton White House, remember? Hillary was in charge of it, I think.
Oh,
she's
the one that scared all
She was the one in charge of the bimbo eruption squad, waiting for the next eruption to hit the administration. Yeah. The Clinton bimbo eruption.
Thank you for having me here today.
Pleasure. It's so nice of you to stop by. I don't get to see you that often. Earlier shows, we had these other participants that steal the show, actually. They come in here, all these loudmouths, talking about these meetings they just came from with the chamber of this and the chamber of that and everything. It was fascinating, but boy, we didn't get a chance to have a word in there. Not that I know anything, but anyways, interesting shows today, so I enjoyed it. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome anytime. Just put $1 in the bowl on the way out the door.
Is that what it is for the herd?
Yeah,
$1?
The dollar, yep.